So essentially, what we're talking about today is social media for business, and basically how and why we can use social media websites, like the biggest ones such as Facebook, for essentially growing your business. And the way we do that is we're going to talk about how you can build up your fan base and your friend base, and also how to leverage those fans and friends into potentially becoming or having more business for the products and services that you sell or offer. And the cool thing is, I'll just do a quick overview about Facebook. I'm going to show you the four major components of Facebook, how to use them and leverage them for your business. And then we're going to talk about why Facebook is important for business, and how the free aspects of Facebook can be used to basically help you get more potential customers or interested, loyal, brand loyal guests. So the first thing about Facebook is why do we market to it? Marketing on Facebook is essentially free, with the exception of the ads, but those are still very inexpensive these days because there's still not a lot of competition on there. I recently read some statistics that 89% of all travel tour operator and like travel industry and retail businesses are going to be using social media in their marketing mix by the end of this year in terms of how they interact with customers. The cool thing about Facebook is it's somewhat personalized, so you can utilize your experience, expertise, and fun to share all kinds of valuable information with others. The other part about it is that it goes back to kind of the fundamentals of good marketing, which it's grassroots, viral, and a lot of the aspects of what make social media valuable to a business is that it's fully integrated in different aspects of how you can use it. So the cool part about this is that your message is also what you say about your product or service via your page or your profile is also a message that your friends share as well with the world. And so when your post goes up, your friends have that post too, and that's kind of the basics of it. That's why we have this homepage where when people are talking, we have basically like our profile, and whatever anyone is saying will come up on our homepage, as well as whenever you say something, it'll go onto their homepages. So, and this is all live content. That's the other major reason why. Like, it's all live, current, and relevant. So we want to focus on that when we're doing it. The other part about Facebook is that it's big, and there's more than 300 million active users. That means people that are logging in almost on a daily basis. Over 50% of those people log on daily, or at least regularly. And this is the fastest growing demographic for Facebook is 35 years and older. So that's a pretty substantial demographic. A lot of people used to have the impression that Facebook was just for younger people, but essentially it definitely reaches now an older and more affluent base of people that actually have the ability to spend money. The other cool part about this for businesses is that over 8 million people per day join fan pages or become a fan of somebody else's page. So it's distinctly real now that businesses have a niche in the Facebook world. Basically, the real key to Facebook is all about leveraging relationships. When you start engaging with people and getting them to become your friends, you're looking at being able to engage in a conversation with them, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But essentially, the average user has about 130 friends. They tend to share personal and relevant information, and Facebook has become one of the largest places where photos are uploaded, and most of those photos are about trips or friends and family or what have you. But the basic thing is most of the content that goes up on Facebook when they're interacting is emotional and compelling. And this is the way that they engage with their friends, keep them up to date, and so on and so forth. So the real trick is how we get a business to kind of move into this model of engaging with someone and then having those people who are brand loyalists or influencers help engage with what messages we're putting out there. So there's two types of people that we're going to go after in terms of getting more people on Facebook. The first type of person is an influencer, and the influencer is really somebody who's on Facebook, who's typically like a celebrity type of person who has a very large network of people that they reach out to, and they have a very broad reach. So it's very deep and broad in terms of the type of people that they have access to, and they typically end up having more people listening to what they have to say. And I'm talking about the types of folks that have thousands of friends, and you can typically have up to 5,000 friends on Facebook. The other type of person is an engager, and the engager is somebody who is very active about when they put up a post. They are the ones who will end up liking that post by just clicking on like this little like button right here, or they make comments and engage. When they engage with your stuff, then that actually opens up the door to start kind of that chain reaction where they end up basically having a conversation, and their other friends will start to see them in that conversation, even if you're not a friend with their friends. So the idea is that we get somebody who's an influencer to engage with one of our messages, and then all of a sudden your message is in front of thousands of people, and you potentially build up your fans very quickly. The bottom line is, though, with these two types of people that we'll go after in terms of building our customer base, is that these folks are basically are people that that are listening to what we have to say. They're people that are engaging with the information that is coming across on Facebook. So, having said that, and I think I just touched on it briefly, is basically this idea of how we monetize that. And so I briefly mentioned how when you send a post and someone else likes that post or comments on that post, you're essentially opening up that window so that more people can begin to see and interact with that content. So often we want to, as a business, look at this marketing in two different ways. One, how do we engage people that are either fans of us or in our personal profile, who in our personal profile, how we also create that compelling or emotional content that makes people want to look further and deeper. So there's basically two things we're going to talk about today in terms of the differentiation between how we use our profile, and in this case, with SAS, we built this profile a few years ago, or at least 2 years ago, and the profile is actually the business name. And since then, profiles are much like business profiles, or at least the business pages act more like business profiles. So most pages come from an individual profile. So the way we distinguish that is, and not to confuse you, but the Stay Aspen Somas is a business pretending to be a person right here, but then their page, which is over here, actually is the actual business, where you have all kinds of things when you're logged in to be able to see insights about the post quality and those kinds of things. And essentially you're interacting with your fan base as opposed to your friends on your profile, which is the biggest distinction on how these work. So if we go to the profile real quick, you'll be able to see, essentially that you have 899 friends. The objective is that you leverage your profile when you build a business page, get a lot of friends on your own profile, and then you convert those friends into fans. And we can show you how to do that in a little bit later.